Now let us go to the natal circle and look at the individual energies one at a time. Here's the circle. We always start counting from Aries, the location of the sun at the vernal equinox for the northern hemisphere. So you can think of this circle as the map for our planet, for the Earth. We are not going into the individual charts where everybody else has a different rising sign. We're going to start with the rising sign for our Earth. On the 9 o'clock position, we have Aries. And if we think of those 12 energies as a metaphor of a creation, number one is always the beginning. And we start with an idea, with something that hasn't been fleshed out, something that doesn't have a manifestation here in our physical world. And that's what Aries does. Aries will bring that idea, will begin to manifest the idea. So the energy of Aries can always help us with beginnings, with starting, and consequently it will be very inspiring for others to step in and follow in line. Aries is an fire element together with the other two, Leo and Sagittarius. We're going to see that later. The next energy is Taurus, and it comes actually from the earth element, and it has something to do with solidifying. So this is where we begin to manifest physically without even caring so much about the content. But really, if you have an idea, you need to have the physical structure for that idea, or physical resources. Structure will show up much later, but for now, as a first round of manifestation, we at least need some resources. If you are to build yourself a body, well, if you want to begin to manifest yourself on this level, you will need a body. You will need something to feed you. You need to be provided. You need blankets. You need clothes. That is what Taurus usually is very concerned with, the immediate physical resources, possessions, and and because it's an earth element, it always comes after fire. It has this um, aspect of supporting the ideas of fire. So in this case, Taurus will support Aries' ideas and brings the resources, creates the resources. Taurus is the energy that grows plants, vegetables, fruits. It connects with nature and animals and all the living beings, because Taurus is very much plugged into the nature. The third element is Gemini, and now we actually have air. And this is where we say, okay, what do we have right now? I am being on this manifested level. I already have food and clothing and skin. Now I want to go and explore. So Gemini is a very curious energy. Air energy is very intellectual. And so it goes out there. This is where you can actually observe the trees and the animals. You see the other world. You start classifying things. You start finding patterns. You're learning. You're seeing other people. So this is where Gemini is. You're going to talk through things, think, perhaps invent writing. And then the night has come of your first day of existence here in our material world, and it's time for you to rest. Cancer and all the water elements you're going to see are very much involved into this resting and somewhat withdrawing a little bit from the material activity, from day-to-day activity where we actually connect with spirit. Cancer is about providing comfort, rest, comfort. It is the natural place for the moon, which is the universal mother. So Cancer is very sensitive and caring, and this is where we spend the night. We don't need a house or something fancy. We just need a cozy place. The Cancer energy is the one that allows us to make our house into a cozy place. Nesting, people say. That's what Cancer energy does. And then you spend the night and you wake up the next morning with number 5, another fire. Leo is again all about ideas and creativity and playfulness. It's a little bit more sophisticated than Aries because it has lived already for a day. But nevertheless, it is, again, it tends to be expansive because all fire is expansive, and it's concerned mostly with itself. All fire are like that. They're not very much tuned into others, but more tuned into their own creative needs, own ideas. And that's what Leo does. Leo likes to play, enjoy, create for the sheer sake of having pleasure and fun, not so much for money. Even if money comes back eventually and someone compensates Leo, it will be an afterthought. Leo is there just because it feels right, and that's what Leo likes to really play and express itself. It's very expressive and dramatic. And after that fiery Leo, we know we're going to have another earth element. That this will be Virgo now. Virgo is very practical, and it says, yes, yes, you do want to paint your beautiful paintings, but you also need to wash your brushes, right? You need to put away your books. So Virgo tidies up after Leo. Because if Leo leaves its crayons or brushes outside and not washed, Leo cannot use them the next day. So that's the reality, the practical reality where we actually face that it's all good to have play and fun, but we also need to meet certain necessity. We have to do them because otherwise it won't be as much fun to be sitting in a very dirty house or misplaced crayons, or all of a sudden we have lost our paints and colors or coloring book. So Virgo will organize. Virgo is the really the energy with the most attention to detail. It will label everything, put it in drawers. It's very crafty. It can actually create a clock so that you never have to worry about food anymore, or meals. Is it lunchtime? Is it dinner? Right? That's what the Virgo is. Virgo will cook for you too. Well, Taurus was more about growing. And so, in the first day, you probably ate fruit, and even if you caught fish, still you are more provided immediately from nature. Virgo, it gets a little bit more sophisticated now and can cook and bake and do a lot of things. Also clean up after us, and then we're ready for the next round of air. This is the end of the second day, not completely the end, but the afternoon, where we are ready to, where we remember that there are other people out there and we want to actually go and see what they do. We also discover that we can do much more, and it's much more fun when we are doing it with others. So the number 7 in this division, Libra, the second air element, is very much tuned into this partnership, knowing that together we're more than the sum of us. So Libra is willing to make compromises for the sake of partnership, because again, all together we can accomplish more. And then at the end of that second day, we're ready to rest. And this is where Scorpio comes. Of course, by now you already have your friends, and you might find yourself near the bonfire. And well, Libra is very social, and you have all these partners. The Scorpio people are actually the very few, one or two, with whom you feel very deep intimacy, people whom you trust, people, it doesn't have to be necessarily a partner, but more like the person that you can see across the room, and you look at each other and you know each other. So that is the Scorpio connection, and that's how you end up the second day near the fire, sharing deep secrets and pondering over the mysteries of the universe. Scorpio loves to dig deep, and being a watery sign, it is connected to the spiritual world. So it's somehow, this is the time when we remember there's something more. Yes, we've been busy creating a lot in the material world, but now let's go back and start soul searching for the real meaning, or for the bigger world. So that is all interest of Scorpio. You'll find this energy always seeking, searching, probing. It can probe for the deepest mysteries of the spiritual world, but on the material level, it can simply enjoy mystery books or be a great detective and go through, like, solve crimes. So there are many levels in which you can see Scorpio, but it's always that intense seek for truth and meaning and the deeper meanings of everything. And then we fall asleep and we wake up on the third day, and we start the day again with the energy of fire. This time is Sagittarius. Sagittarius is social. because it likes to network, it likes to go on an adventure. This is where you become very, very expansive. You say, okay, I have explored all my island. I hung around with some of my friends last night, but and now I know there's more to it, so I want to go and explore. This is where, in ancient times, we'll hop on a boat or ship and go over and travel over water to go to far lands. Nowadays, with the airplanes, we can zip pretty much anywhere pretty fast, and sometimes you can travel halfway across the globe, and it will feel like a long distance. But if you get off at the airport, meet your friend, hand them a business card, and then hop on the airplane and come back, that is not really a Sagittarian trip. The Sagittarian trip will be there, like taking a backpack and spending 3 months in Europe backpacking and meeting the locals, or going down to South America, exploring. So it's more about meeting new cultures, seeing new people, seeing the big picture, really, the big world. That's what Sagittarius likes, adventure. It doesn't have to be travel, it could be simply high adrenaline activities. Sagittarius loves any of those, skydiving, for instance. And that is where we kind of expand. And some of the Sagittarius energy is actually very happy to limit itself simply to exploring grand ideas. So you might not even go on some adventure, but you might go to the Library of the United States Congress and start digging through those ancient books and manuscripts. So something more of a higher learning. But Sagittarius likes just to expand. Your learning, your experience, your adventure, everything is on the big scale. And then when the trip is over, you finally come back to your home village on your home island, and you want to build, but you want to build now big. You have seen the castles from the world and the big buildings, and Capricorn is very good being earth element. It supports the ideas of the previous fire element. So Sagittarius will bring the big vision, and Capricorn will say, okay, now let's build it solid. So Capricorn is the executive and knows how to delegate, how to place systems and processes, and take the material resources and use them to build material, very physical structures. And then we see the air element. This is our third encounter with the air element, and this is the Aquarius. The Aquarius says, okay, we have built our big castle, or our big mansion, or our big library. That's for everybody from my village to go and use it. But can we improve it? So Aquarius brings this intellectual aspect. Remember, it's an air element, and so it is going to want to improve. Being also sociable and social, it loves and thrives to be in groups, especially in groups with shared interests. So this is where Aquarius will be networking across groups, setting up big groups. Tinkering with social ideas, tinkering with even scientific ideas, with even, it could be very material in a way, like improving inventions, because Aquarius is the inventor of the this circle. And then this is the afternoon of the third day, and we're going to end with Pisces. And this is where we say, okay, we are going to go and rest. As water element, Pisces is associated with withdrawing from that busy activity of the material plane. Pisces is going to be, and this is where we feel, okay, been there, done that, what else is there? I think I'm done, and I don't want to wake up tomorrow morning for repeated circle. Well, I will, but it kind of ends in a little mini cycle here, where Pisces withdraws much deeper than Cancer and Scorpio into the spirit world. Now, Pisces is also kind and very compassionate. So even though this is where we let go and we release of all our attachments and say, okay, this was a great play, but let me get out of here. Because of compassion, we eventually will come back for another day, because we want to show people that they are more than what we see. We want to show them kindness, and we want to show them how to include everybody and bring peace. And so it is that peace-loving and compassionate nature of Pisces that motivates them to come back to the world. Sometimes Pisces could be overwhelmed that they have very strong escapist tendencies, but overall the energies of Pisces brings you the gifts of letting go and release. So if you're having troubles releasing something, Pisces is the energy that can help.